bookmarks, you'll see that the bookmarks spell out Facebook. But it's not meant to be Facebook per se, but it's an acronym for Facebook. So what I'm going to talk to you about today is, let me get my papers organized here, is being a witness for Christ, but being a witness in conventional and non-conventional ways. You know, as times change, as the world changes, we have to change with it. And so that's what got me thinking about different ways that we can be a witness. I know we talk in Sunday school a lot and in church a lot about sometimes it's difficult to witness, to be a witness to others, because it's hard in the workplace, it's hard out in the public sometimes just to go up to somebody and say, are you a Christian? Do you go to church anywhere? Have you been saved? Those kinds of things are difficult for us to do in this day and age. So, having said that, it's maybe time to turn to different means, different ways of addressing that, and different ways of witnessing to other people. And so I have found that one way is through Facebook. I hear a lot of, bad remarks about Facebook persecution. It can be awful. It has awful things on it. Don't let your kids be on it because they'll be exposed to things that they shouldn't be exposed to. But that's the way it is in the world. That's the way it is everywhere you go. Send your kids to school. You're not there monitoring what they hear. You don't know what they're being exposed to, what the other kids are saying, how the teachers are treating them. You don't know what's going on there, but you send them, and you send them with the faith that the morals you've instilled in them, that they'll practice those morals, and that they will live a Christian life, that they will live the life that you've brought them up to live. And one of the scriptures is in Proverbs chapter 22 and verse 6. And I should have had that bookmarked already, but I didn't. Well, my pages will come apart. Okay. And that very simple verse that says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. So if you've raised your children to know right from wrong, then when you send them off to school or you send them off to a friend's house, then when they're exposed to things that aren't Christian-like, then they will know what parts to ignore and what parts it's okay for them to be involved in. The mission of the United Methodist Church is to make disciples of Jesus Christ for transformation of the world. So that's what we're supposed to be doing, but I think all of us are lacking just a little bit in that area. So thinking outside the box, we need to find other ways that we can be disciples for Jesus, that we can witness to other people. And I want to read you one other scripture, and that's Proverbs chapter 1, verse 1 through 19. The Proverbs of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel, to know wisdom and instruction, to perceive the words of understanding, to receive the instruction of wisdom, justice, judgment, and equity, to give prudence to the simple, to the young man knowledge and discretion. A wise man will hear and increase learning, and a man of understanding will attain wise counsel. To understand a proverb and an enigma, the words of the wise and the riddles. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. My son, hear the instruction of your father, and do not forsake the law of your mother, for they will be graceful ornament on your head and chains about your neck. My son, if sinners entice you, do not consent. If they say, come with us, let us lie in wait to shed blood. Let us lurk secretly for the innocent without cause. Let us swallow them alive like Sheol, and whole like those who go down to the pit. We shall find all kinds of precious possessions. We shall fill our houses with spoil. Cast cast in your lot among us. Let us all have one purse. My son, do not walk in the way with them. Keep your foot from their path, for their feet run to evil, and they make haste to shed blood. Surely in vain the net is spread in the sight of any bird, but they lie in wait for their own blood. They lurk secretly for their own lives. So are the ways of everyone who is greedy for gain. It takes away the life of its owners. Given what all was just read from the scripture there, from Proverbs, this can apply to children, adults, adolescents, teenagers, the elderly. This can apply to anyone, anytime, anywhere. We can all be tempted, enticed, and we have to know what to choose to do, what to follow, and what not to follow. So if we allow our children, again, in school to go to school and be exposed to things of the world, we ourselves, we go to restaurants where they may serve alcohol, they may have dance parties, but the food's good, so we're going to go eat. That doesn't mean we have to partake of the evil that's being offered. But do we stop going to those places? So it's the same with Facebook, Twitter. It used to be MySpace that was so famous online. All the different social media websites. Those can be used for good. And it's up to you to ignore the bad. For those of you who do have Facebook accounts, I know many of you don't, but for those of you that do, you know that on any given day, any given hour, you can scroll through there and you can find things that you would rather not ever see. But you choose to just scroll right on past those. Move on down. Go to your friends. I had written it down, but I don't know where. Oh, I have 820 friends on Facebook. If I can reach one person by some of the things that I post on Facebook, then I feel like I've accomplished something. I've been a witness for Christ. Every Sunday morning, I always post what our Sunday school lesson is and a link to a page that people who don't go to church can go to read our Sunday school lesson. I invite the people to church every Sunday morning via Facebook. Sometimes they come, sometimes they don't. Mostly they don't, but if one person shows up. We were talking about Brandy and Brittany in Sunday school. That's how I got in touch with them and invited them to come to church. They came for a little while, then they stopped. But the seed's been planted. And planting that seed and nurturing it, and I still keep in contact with them, and I still talk to them about they're always welcome here anytime that they want to come. And just by uplifting them in their hardships and their discouraging times, and by giving them that Christian encouragement and scripture that they can refer to. Like I said, you could help someone without ever knowing that you've touched their lives in a positive way. Everybody has to find what's right for them, what's the best way to be a witness for Christ. Some of you may feel more comfortable just going in a group of people and introducing yourself. Hi, I'm Linda Gibbs. I go to church at Joppa United Methodist. Where do you go to church at? You know, that's great if that's what you feel comfortable with. If you don't feel comfortable with that, find a way to reach out to people that is comfortable for you. And if you're comfortable, then you're more apt to continue on with it. And like I said, if we each just touch one person, then we've done something good. You know, if you're going to be fishers of men, you've got to go where the fish are. You've got to go where the men are. And today, in today's electronic world, that's where they are. They're on that computer. So you've got to get in there and get in the mix and get in the middle of it. Jesus didn't hang around with all the rich folks and the most Christian-like people. He hung around with prostitutes and thieves. He hung around with the sinners, the people that weren't the best dressed. So why do we feel like that's what we need to do? We don't need to go out to the Christians who are already saved and already in church. We need to be a witness to those others. And we do that in whatever's the best way that we can do. So use whatever means is available to you, whatever's comfortable to you, and be a witness. Get out of your comfort zone. Take a step out of the boat. Get out of your comfort zone, and find different ways that you can witness to people and tell people about Jesus Christ. I was watching a movie last night, one of those Hallmark sad, sappy love story movies, you know. And there was a couple of things that I wanted to quote from that just made perfect sense to me. And one of those is, life begins at the edge of your comfort zone. Step out of that comfort zone just a little bit and see what kind of new life you can have and what kind of new lives you can bring to Christ by doing that. And the other quote from that movie was, God provides the opportunities, but it's up to us to take them. Now, I was sitting last night studying this, thinking about what all I wanted to say, and I had the TV on in the background, and I heard that, and I had to rewind and listen to it again, and I thought, how appropriate. God gives us the opportunities, but it's up to us to take them. So figure out what opportunities are handed to you. And it could be something as simple as someone telling you their hardships, what a rough week they've had at work, how tight their finances are, how down in the dumps they feel, how they miss their mama because, you know, today's the anniversary of her death, or today would have been her birthday. You know, when people reach out to you in simple little ways like that, those are opportunities that you can use to be a witness for Christ. You can start that conversation with them very simply and mostly just by listening. But then you can offer support. You can pray with them. You can invite them to come to church. And you have opportunities every day. But it's up to you to take those opportunities. So in closing, and I know this is short, but in closing, I just want each of you to find one way that's out of the normal for you, that's out of your comfort zone, to reach out to someone else. Invite someone to church. Offer to pray with someone that you know is hurting or in need. And if you've always been the one that's been uptight about Facebook, get over it. It can be used for good. There are so many scripture-based, Christian-based sites that are on Facebook. A few of them I listed: the Pocket Testament League, Completely Committed Followers, Girlfriends in God, Mothers Against Meth, Daily Encounters, and on and on and on. There's a ton of Christian-based websites that you can access via Facebook. And you can get scripture delivered to your Facebook every day that you can sit and study. And sometimes it's easier. People say, well, the Bible, you know, it's complicated, it's too hard for me to read, my glasses aren't strong enough, I lost my glasses, can't see the writing. If you have a computer and internet access, you can get all of that, and you can make that screen, print those letters up there as big as you want them, and you can go to different versions of the Bible so that it's in easier language for you to understand. So use the means that are provided for us. Even if you've always been against it, it's time to step out of the boat. Have faith in God and have faith in yourself, and take those opportunities that are presented to you and be a witness for Christ. Thank you.
If you took my line, I was going to say, in quoting Miss Ann Jackson, step out of the boat. All right, let's sing one more song.